This is one of the very last videos that I'm going to make for this class, and we are in the final stretch with the AP exam. So this video is very important. You need to make sure you watch it from start to finish. Take notes if you need to. Go somewhere where you can focus and put your phone away, because I'm going to throw a lot at you and I'm going to be all over the place, more than I usually am. So let's go. Okay, by midnight tonight, you have to complete your reflection for your visual analysis. That's the very last thing with that unit, and that is a quiz grade. So you have to do that one. And then the extra credit, you can upload it in the same spot as the reflection post, but you don't have to do the extra credit. So this is due by tonight. Make sure you do it. There are two different sections for this. So this video is for those who are taking the AP exam. There's another video for those who are not taking it, so if you're in the wrong one, make sure you're in the right video. I'm going to explain two things. The first is how to go about doing this virtual online exam, and then the second one has to do specifically with the rhetorical analysis, which is our question for the exam. And I will review all of that. Yeah, so let's just do it. We're in it. Okay, part one, preparing for the online exam. There are steps that you need to take for this. All this information is on College Board, and I'm just trying to put it in a way that is clear cut for you. You know exactly what you have to do. And I need you to ask questions if you have any. There's a lot of prep work that goes into it, and I need you to be confident days in advance, because I need you to focus on the actual content and typing and answering the question instead of worrying about, how am I even supposed to do this and all the technical stuff that goes into it. So that's why we are doing this way in advance. So the very first thing that you have to do is to make sure that you have access to your College Board account, and make sure that you're getting emails from them 2 days before the exam day. So on the 18th, they are going to send you your code. You have to have the code in order to take the exam. So if you are not able, if you forgot your password, if for whatever reason you can't get in, now is the time to figure out how to get into your account. So stop what you're doing, pause the video, and go see if you can get into your account, because that's the number one thing. This video does a fantastic job at explaining exactly what you have to do, what you have to have open, how you're going to submit it, how much time you have. This video is fantastic. So I provided the link. Watch it. Watch the whole thing. This one is a PDF file, and it has a checklist. It's really long. Not all of it really will apply to you, but just do it. You might as well do it. So click on this and to see the exact checklist that you need to have done prior to the exam. I took a screenshot of this on College Board, and it says this is what you need to have for exam day. So it's another checklist for you to look at, and then that one is that there. They also have this demo thing for you, where it shows you what the screen will look like on the day of your exam, what it's all going to ask you, how long that's going to take for you to type in your name, your code, your all of this stuff. So try this demo. And it will tell you to type in the word practice, because you won't have your ID, and then that takes you through it. This is the link. I have my own College Board account, and so this link was through my account, so I don't know if it's going to work for you. So if it doesn't work, then type in interactive demo and log into your own account, and then that should work. So there is a demo available, and I highly recommend you do that. Okay, so those are the 5 things that I need you to do in order to understand how to take the test online. And the reason why I'm not going into any more detail is because of this video right here. They do it beautifully. They talk you through it. They show you pictures, step by step. Please click this. But this is just kind of the general everything you need to know into 5 steps right here. Okay, moving on to more specific towards this exam, the AP Lang exam. preparing for the rhetorical analysis question. Because this is open note, it might be beneficial to have a sheet of paper out with what we're going to go over in the next 10 minutes. Maybe not even that long, but you won't have time to really flip through things, and you won't even need to really with what kind of question this is. But it might be a good idea to have some of this stuff out so you can quickly look at it as you are typing or handwriting your response. In a second, I'm going to review old notes about rhetorical analysis, what it is, how to read, how to write the question, how to read the question, how to write the response. Sorry. I also have attached some old student responses. So every unit we would do guess that grade, and we would guess, what this person received on the AP exam on that specific question. So it's kind of like that. I'm giving you the specific question and the student response, and then what score they received. The ones that are listed here are not graded on the new rubric, so just know that I've given you examples that are like good, so make sure that you're looking at the correct ones. If you have questions on those, just ask me. I give you a link if you want to look at more than just these 2 examples or 3 examples. Click this and then you can go through and find them. Make sure you're only looking at the rhetorical analysis question, not the synthesis one or the argument one. Here's another thing that you can do to review for this exam is to look at the rhetorical analysis rubric. I'm going to attach the one that I put together. If you look at this link here, it gets really hectic, and the rhetorical analysis one, which is this one, takes up a couple pages. So that's why I condensed it and put it in one page, but I gave you the link anyway, just so you can have it. Then you will be taking a practice test, a practice essay. And I want you to approach this in the same way that you would for taking the exam. Not necessarily with taking it seriously like you would, because you should definitely do that. This is a graded assignment, but more in the fact where I want you to see how long it takes you to write out the paragraphs. I want you to see how long it takes you to actually physically type it. The process of having your notes out. Where are you going to sit? Do you have better Wi-Fi in part of your house than another part of your house? So this is kind of like a trial run for us. And those are the things that you can do to prepare for the content of it. So let me go into detail of what a rhetorical analysis is, because this was the very first thing that we did in the year. So the first thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to get a passage. And I don't know how long the passage is going to be. It could be from a text 100 years ago. It could be a text 10 years ago. I don't know, you don't know, no one knows, but it will be something where the question is something like, this is a thing that was from this part of, or during this time period, and this person wrote it. Their message was to do something. What rhetorical devices, or what, I'm trying to think of it, how it's phrased. I'm sorry, this is kind of choppy, but how does the language add to the overall message of, and then it says whatever the message is. So you are looking into the language and the writing style, and how well that person, whoever's writing it, whoever's saying it, if it's a speech, how well they're getting their message across because of the language and the techniques that they've used. All right, that's reading it. You need to read it, and you need to mark it up. Just kidding, you can't mark it up because it's on the computer. Take notes as you are reading it, and be looking for diction, syntax, tone, ethos, pathos, logos, any of the rhetorical devices on that super long rhetorical terms list that I gave you at the very beginning of the year. Anaphora, anecdotal examples, descriptive language, all of those things are devices that can be used for this essay. Once you've finished reading it, how are you going to structure it? So this stuff right here is tips for writing rhetorical analysis. Your intro should be present. It is not the most important thing. The thesis statement is super important because that gets you a point on the rubric. So what you can include in the intro are the SOAPs, the subject, the occasion, if there is one, who is the target audience, what's the purpose of this, and you can talk about the speaker. Remember, thesis statement is the most important part here. You can have it be an opened or a closed thesis statement. An open thesis statement is saying, this person effectively communicates their idea, blah, blah, because of the use of language. That's super open. Or you could have a closed thesis statement. That one is the safest bet if you do a closed one, saying, because of the anecdotal examples and the strong use of the emotional appeal, so-and-so is able to clearly articulate their ideas or their message on blank. So you're telling me those are the two things you're going to focus on in the essay, the anecdotal example and the strong emotional appeal. So if I chose to do that, I would have a 4-paragraph essay. The intro, anecdotal examples, and my analysis of that, and then the emotional appeal, and then my conclusion. So when you're in the body paragraphs, you need to refer to the text implicitly by paraphrasing and explicitly by saying line numbers or giving direct quotes. You have to do this because part of the rubric is having the evidence and the commentary. So this part right here, examples from the text, would be your evidence. So make sure that you have that. Then you have the why. Why is an anecdotal example effective? Why? That's the analysis part. That's the commentary part that will get you points. So you can't just say, yeah, they use an anecdotal example, and here it is. Moving on to my next point. You need to make sure you're explaining why that certain device, why using an anecdotal example or story is effective. And then you'll do the same thing for your next body paragraph. Where are the examples of the emotional appeal? Do they talk about a puppy? Do they talk about a baby? Do they talk about whatever that pulls on your heartstrings? And you need to give specific examples, and then you need to comment why. Minor mistakes, grammar mistakes, not important here. As you're typing and going through, it might be a good idea to have your spell check on, just so if you have more time at the very end, you can go through and edit that. But yeah, not a major factor in the grading. All right, what you have to do, I'm going to attach this so you have everything. What you have to do by Wednesday is comment on this post in Google Classroom saying the following. Let's see if you've actually watched this far. I'm going to be really curious to see who actually says this. You need to say, my College Board account works, or I'm able to get to my Google or College Board account. Tell me that you have access or you are getting emails to your College Board. That's the number one thing that you need to tell me. The second thing that you have to do is to say, I got it, I completely understand, I'm good to go, or I'm not really sure what you mean by this, can you please explain? So you're either saying you get it or you're asking questions. So those are the two things that you need to do, and you need to do that by Wednesday. I said a lot, I realize that, but process this and see if you have any questions, and please ask them sooner rather than later, because this is going to be a hectic exam if you don't understand or you're not confident. But if we do the steps properly, then you will be fine. Okay, goodbye.